What's up guys, welcome back to another video, and this time we're going to be talking about all the reasons Crystal Dynamics should be doing everything they can to bring Wolverine to Marvel's Avengers as soon as they possibly can. So let's get right to it. Now first I want to give a quick shout out to Brock Solid for providing this amazing concept of Wolverine in Marvel's Avengers. I'm sure a lot of you have seen this floating around, but if you're not familiar with his work, he's done some amazing concept work for the game. And I'm personally definitely hoping to see some of his work actually come to life in the game. So definitely follow him over on Twitter and Reddit if you want to see any of his other amazing work. But as for all the reasons why Wolverine should be in Marvel's Avengers, it's really simple. He's one of the most popular Marvel characters ever. He's one of the biggest names right now, and he's been an Avenger before. He definitely would be a big bonus to this game, especially with them, being on a bit of a dry spell for content right now. Another big reason they should definitely consider pursuing this is it would give them a chance to beat Insomniac to the punch. Insomniac created a massive amount of hype just by announcing that they're actually working on a Wolverine game, but it actually isn't expected to release until 2024 at the earliest, because they're also working on Spider-Man 2 at the same time. And Insomniac really brought to light how anxious players have been to play with Wolverine. So with there being such a huge demand for him, if Crystal Dynamics could deliver on that, that would definitely go a long way towards building a lot of just goodwill with the community and, just giving players something new to do in the game where they're already starved for content and things to do as it is. So you need as many wins as you can get, and I think this would be definitely one of the bigger wins they could possibly get outside of releasing Captain Marvel or Doctor Strange or someone like that. So you definitely need more A-list characters in the game going forward, and this is pretty much as A-list as you can get. And since they're only adapting him to the game they already have in place, they don't have nearly the uphill battle as Insomniac because they're building a whole world from the ground up around this central character. So realistically, they could actually get the character in the game within 3 to 6 months, because that's been their usual time frame for bringing in new characters outside of delays and things like that. So again, it's feasible. It's something they can actually do and pull off without, taking like years of work and, building, new environments and things like that. You don't really need all of that. You could bring them in with a small event similar to what they're planning for Spider-Man, and you will have them in characters' hands within the year versus, everyone else being resigned to having to wait till 2024 to see what Insomniac can do with them. Even though players will still be anticipating that highly, like myself included, but, just something to scratch that itch for right now. And again, this game needs as many wins as they can get right now. Another thing that makes this really interesting is the prospect of who they would bring in to voice him. You can go with someone like Steve Blum, who's been popular for voicing a character for the past few years. He's done voices for the games and TV shows and things like that. Or they can go with the throwback choice of casting Cal Dodd, who provided the voice of Wolverine in the 90s X-Men show. Again, that's just something that would be exciting to see come with Wolverine in the game. And this next reason is definitely huge, because I think this is something they desperately need to do as far as just trying to repair the relationship that they have with players that's, continually going south as of late. And after the news of Spider-Man being a Sony exclusive, I feel like, you kind of owe Xbox and PC players something. So my way of working around that would be, to give them early access to Wolverine when he does come to the game. I don't know how far in advance you give them access, but I think a full month would probably be the sweet spot. That way you're not really pissing off PlayStation players who are, probably starving for content at that time anyway because of how the game, tends to handle content releases. But, it definitely would help players understand. Like, nobody would really be upset about Xbox and PC players getting early access to Wolverine, especially after knowing how Spider-Man was handled. And Spider-Man is literally going to only be on PlayStation at that time. So Xbox players and PC players getting early access to Wolverine, I feel like that would be something that they, one, would be deserving of, and two, it just kind of shows that you do care. Like, hey, we kind of messed up. Here's something. He's not exclusive, even though, I would understand if they, that would be the biggest thing they can do. But again, you would be shooting yourself in the foot again and pissing off another section of the player community. So you definitely don't want to go that route. But giving them early access, similar to how PlayStation users had early access to the beta before PC and Xbox players. So, just something in that vein, just to kind of smooth over things and show that you do care about the players you kind of left outside in the cold. Like, hey, we forgot you was on the porch for a while. Come on in and get warm. Something like that. I definitely think they need to start looking at things like that, because you can't just keep treating the community the way that they have been as of lately. Now, as far as his gameplay, I think that would be relatively easy to implement, with the only real challenge being figuring out his ranged attacks. I literally can't think of anything for his ranged attacks outside of maybe lunge attacks, or maybe throwing chunks of rock or something, but I'm sure they can find a simple workaround for him, and honestly that would be the only thing I think would be holding them up as far as actually trying to bring Wolverine to the game, because everybody has a ranged attack, and Wolverine really isn't known for ranged attacks, and he doesn't really throw things like his knives are in his hands. he doesn't throw those around. So again, I'm confident that they would be able to find something for him, but I think that would be the only real major hurdle outside of actually getting the okay to add him to the game. And the last thing would be just this guy, as far as marketplace value, he's a costume cash cow. Like, he has so many costumes and iconic looks, it's crazy. Like, they would literally be able to add a new costume just for him every week for months, if not years. You get what I'm saying? Like, this dude has so many outfits and looks and designs that it pretty much prints itself. So again, there aren't many reasons not to do this, especially with a game where you're trying to make money. So again, this is an absolute win. And the last thing I can think of as far as the reason for them to actually make this a reality is, you can replace smaller characters who you have planned already, like Winter Soldier and She-Hulk. Nobody, like, people are excited for them. Like, I'm excited to see those characters come to the game, but outside of like Doctor Strange and Captain Marvel and maybe Vision, and War Machine, simply because he can fly, because I feel like the game definitely needs more people who can fly around. Wolverine, I definitely feel like the community would take him in front of Winter Soldier and She-Hulk in a heartbeat. Ant-Man, probably just because he brings a different style of gameplay to the game. I feel like he might be a little more highly anticipated in the game outside of Wolverine, but as far as the other characters, he's definitely a lot bigger than them. So you can just have somebody in the pipeline that is gonna be a hit with the community. Now again, this is all simply my opinion and it's purely hypothetical at this point, but I really believe this is something Crystal Dynamics should look at making a reality for all of the reasons I just listed, and I'd definitely be interested to see how they handle his default costume for the game. With the exception of Bald Hawkeye, I've liked everything they've done with the original designs for the game, and I think they would have an interesting take on Wolverine's costume. But this is where I'm going to end it, and I definitely want to hear from you guys down in the comments. So let me know what you think. Do you think Wolverine would be a good fit here, or would you prefer to just wait until Insomniac's release? Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you made it this far and want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to catch new videos every week. And to everyone who's already subscribed, I definitely want to thank you for supporting the channel and rocking with me. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.